So the album's called Luck and Strange. It's the luck of the very strange moment that me and baby boomers in general, all in the post-war period, have lived through. To have had such a fortunate moment with so many positive ideas that one thought were moving us forward. Piper's Call is a song about the Faustian Pact, you know, that deal with the devil. It's basically written musically by me on a ukulele. The ukulele opens the song. There was a long saga of thinking about producers, which had been driving me nuts for months, and Polly started researching. It felt like we needed something new on this particular occasion, and we just invited him to come down to the house and chat. Just felt very right. And he's quite bossy and hasn't got any great preconceptions about what I do, what Pink Floyd has done, all that stuff. And he just tells me what he wants us to get on with, and we get on with it.
Cool. So that's the idea. How do you feel about that?
It's great. I mean, I'm absolutely loving doing it, the way we're doing it.
For me, being in the studio with the whole gang, Polly, David, it's just been such a lovely environment to be part of. And David has been really receptive to my bossiness.
Well, thank you for the drill. I like being drilled.
If I've got an opinion or a new idea or something, he's been open to exploring it.
I've been trying to sort of really rock it out, but I'm thinking maybe I should melody it out in a slightly different way. The result is extremely pleasing to me. Polly and I are a team. We've been writing songs together for over 30 years now. We are very much in sync with each other in what we want to do. And this album is the result of that reaching a firmer, better point in that process. He wanted to look at the lyrics, so we handed him all the lyrics, and he was very keen to share those lyrics and what they meant to him.
I think lyrics are so important to understanding what the song is, but I think it can be easy to overlook that sometimes. I think, you know, there can be a focus on, oh, is the groove doing this and the guitar sounding this, but actually what is the song trying to say?
Charlie sees music and words in a way that I haven't come across before in quite that way. So that someone coming in to play a part, he wants them to absolutely understand the lyric. And then, you know, if I'm around, he'll say, can you come and just chat about this lyric? And I've found that really, really sort of pleasurable.
I think I remember sort of what are we making the record for? And then, you know, instantly kind of, I think it sort of started that process.
And the orchestrations were done by Will Gardner. His direction of the choir is so strange and avant-garde. Although they're deliberately out of tune, they somehow seem to fit. It's very, very strange.
So should we do another one as written, basically? Okay.
orchestrations will break your heart. I mean, they're beautiful.
Break your heart beautiful and also unusual. And yeah, I think he's a real genius. Take my arm and walk with me once more down this dusty old path. The sunset cuts the hill in half. Our shadows stretch back to touch the night. The light's fading, you say, but these darkening days flow like honey. I went to my son Charlie to see if he wanted to have a go at writing some lyrics. Those lines about holding back the tide and the disobedience of the tide is brilliant, related to King Canute, I guess. I stand in a river, push against the stream. Time is a tide that disobeys, and it disobeys me. It never ends. Winding up in the past, and this dark and velvet night that surrounds us. This dark and velvet night, I will wrap around us. It's softer than words that are spoken. The music sprang out at me one day. I was really, really enjoying it and thinking it was really exciting and great to have come across this thing. And I was thinking, we're going to have to get some words. I'm going to have to write some words. I'm going to have to get Polly to write some words. Polly had given me a poem for our wedding anniversary that happened to be sitting on my desk right next to me as I had been working on this track. And I just picked up the paper and thought, I'll just to hear what words sound like on it. So I turned on the microphone and sang these words and then played it to Polly, and she said, lovely, great, I'll need to work on them some more. So she did. There it was. I mean, serendipitous, really. It's a song that we have loved and had on our own personal sort of playlists since the 90s. We sort of always imagined that everyone knew as well as we did.
We thought it'd been a hit.
So I made a backing track and realised the lyrics weren't something that I would naturally sing about.
Well, that was another short one.
That was fine.
I zoned out.
I think that was fine. I think you stayed right on the note.
It's a very vulnerable lyric. And somehow there's something invulnerable about David.
Delicately put. So we had Romany at the house. Said, Romany, just come and sing this song. She didn't know it at all. I just gave her a piece of paper and said, sing this. Okay, but I've got to train. So she just sang it once through, and 90% of what's on there is the grumpy...
diffident
girl. Since she was tiny, she's always been able to put on a pair of headphones, stand in front of a mic and just knock it out like a pro. But this was quite extraordinary.
And you can see it in the way they look at you. Feel it in the way they treat you. Always the last to know.
Beautiful. There's a lovely thing, I think, about families' voices which seem to naturally blend.
The Andrews sisters,
The Andrews sisters, the Beverly sisters.
the Gallagher brothers.
Maybe. Sort of. Not too pronounced. Not quite like that. That's it. I can hear myself in the background willing her to get.
Yeah.
And I go,
See?
doesn't matter, I can't help it. On Between 2 Points, in fact, I remember recording it. It sounds mad. I said it to Polly at the time. I was so into that moment that it was like being stoned or something, but I wasn't. Not separated from the guitar and what I was playing at that particular moment in a way that is rare and joyful. I'm always a bit nervous of calling people, and Polly always says to me, "Who's your favourite drummer?" Steve Gadd, of course, greatest drummer in the world. So I gave Steve Gadd a call nervously and said, would he come and spend a week with us in London recording? And he said, yes, simple as that. He's just a class act. He's really, really good.
Honestly, the sound of the drums is quite phenomenal, actually, and he plays them very gently, but they sound big.
He just nails it immediately, and it was such a joy to finally be able to get him in and record with him. Luck and Strange is the title of a song. It comes from a jam that we did in 2007 while Rick Wright was still alive. I wrote choruses and bridges for it, and then Polly wrote these great words. From the first second that you hear Rick playing his electric piano, you just know there's something absolutely individual about what he does that no one else does or could do. His level of creativity is something that I've missed over the years, but some of the people that Charlie has brought have added creativity of that sort. We have a keyboard player called Rob Gentry, who's been doing a lot of the keyboards. Some of the things he does take a minute to get used to. They're very off the wall sometimes, but it's fantastic. I've also had Rogerino playing on a couple of tracks. Guy Pratt, of course, the legend that is Guy Pratt. Charlie brought in a drummer, Adam Betts, who's brilliant, and a bass player called Tom Herbert, who seemed to spend as much time playing with some strange looping pedals that created the most brilliant sound.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
The joy on everyone's faces when we arrive every day for the work that we're doing is palpable. I mean, it's a different level of thinking that we're really onto something new and exciting and joyous. Play from that second chorus. Good boy, sit there, wait. Good boy.
It's torn apart at the seams. No doubt in you. No doubt in me. snapshots of delight. Those rosy days of black and whites.
There's a song called Sings. The chorus part of it is actually 25 years old. And when Joe was 2, I made it up one day and I was sort of la-laing along to it with a guitar, and he was in the room and he was 2 years old. And he's just talking and saying, "Sing, Daddy, sing, Daddy." I recorded that on a mini disc player. There's a sort of moment in the song where it's kind of left itself fairly blank. Let's just put that demo on there from 25 years ago. And it's magical, isn't it? It just sounds amazing. Well, you know, I started off in a pop group, and I found myself eventually in the position of leading that group, not ever a position I was hoping for or looking forward to. Being a solo artist, also not what I really asked for. I've always preferred being a part of something, and this album feels much closer to that than anything I've had in all these years, with a group of people who are all very collaborative, very positive, and putting in everything that they can into what we're doing. It's the best work I've done. It's the best album I've made since Dark Side of the Moon in 1973. 50 years.